Hey everybody, it's Shu here. I'm playing Payday 2 right now, and I'm doing Deathwish Shadow Raid. And I wanted to show you how I do it, and to show you just how easy it can actually be. I'm doing a few setups on pre-planning here that I wouldn't recommend for every situation. This is strictly for Deathwish and doing it solo. But I think that there's a lot of lessons here that, you know, if you're brand new to the game and you're still daunted at the prospect of doing it on normal, there's still a lot you can learn here. So I took some thermite paste. We're going to be using that to burn through the sewer later, because the sewer is going to be one of our chief ways of transportation and of moving bags. But I'm not going to do it all right now. The first thing I'm going to do is burn this front area just so I can get one of the pastes done with, and I can go back and get the other. But I'm not going to go and torch the rest of the sewer yet. And that will be apparent in a moment. Going and grabbing the other piece of paste. And at this point, my mind is on this back alley here, because up on that ladder, I have a route to the roof and to the top floor of the warehouse. And you can see there's a soldier there who's watching, and so I'm getting cold feet. I'm worried about jumping across because he will see me do that, and I will blow my cover. And I'm considering dropping down into the sewer to go and burn the other grate, but then I see that that soldier's moving, so I come back up. Coast is clear, leap over the gap, get up on that little duct, and get over. And so my plan now is to rob the top floor of this place as quickly as I can. The top floor on Shadow Raid is probably the most dangerous spot in the map. The top floor and the stairs to and from it. But because this is Deathwish, I have to get 12 pieces of loot. That means I have to hit a lot of different places on the map. So I want to start with the top floor because it's the most dangerous, so that if I screw up, I've wasted as little time as possible. You don't want to go and do all the low-hanging fruit and then have to take the hardest part of the map and find that, oh, dang, I screwed up and I just wasted all that time. Like, see right there, I almost screwed up, and I would much rather it be 2 minutes into the map than 20 minutes into the map. So at this point, I'm checking to see what's in the computer room. I see that it has the server, cracking open the crate so I don't have to do it under pressure later. And here I'm trying to get the server, and I forget that I'm already carrying coke. But yeah, I figure it out and get to the roof. And I'm going to cut it close around this guy. It's not something I would recommend, but it's pretty easy, especially once you know what your boundaries are with these guys, once you know what you can get away with. Especially when you have very low detection rating, because you have high concealment on your gear. Right now I'm using a very concealed Car 4 and a very concealed Shimano custom pistol, and I forget what melee weapon, just something that's very concealable again. And that gives me a detection rating of 3, which is the lowest that the game will give you. And that allows me to cut it a little close around cameras, around guards. You don't need your detection rating to be 3, but the lower it is, the more you can get away with. And I'm sort of being aggressive about this, both to show you what you can get away with and to show you that you have a lot of room for error in Shadow Raid. Like I said, it's not nearly as daunting as people make it out to be. I know that a lot of people are coming in new to Payday from Crime Fest and so forth, and so this map can feel intimidating if you don't really know how stealth works. People feel like they can only do it through ECM rushing, and I'm just trying to show you that's not true. You can easily solo stealth it, even on Deathwish. At the time that I'm doing this, I'm like level 39. I don't have any special perks. I don't have like the pay-to-win burglar deck or anything from the Clover pack. This is all just plain vanilla stuff. I've put some skills into the talents for like faster movement, faster interaction with bags and stuff, but that's stuff that you're going to have on most of your characters anyway. And so it doesn't take anything fancy. Right here I'm opening this door so that I have another way in. I can easily grab a few things and get out. One caveat about this, when you open doors on Shadow Raid, you're creating new routes for guards and new routes for civilians. Not everything that you open is going to get used, but a lot of them will, and so you have to be careful. I especially don't like opening both doors on that back route back there, because then soldiers will start patrolling around it, and then one of your safe spots is very compromised. Grabbing a painting, ducking behind the crate to break the camera's line of sight. And you see I take a wide turn around that camera so that it doesn't like watch me running right at it. I'm just trying to keep my exposure to that camera at a minimum. At this point, I'm considering opening this door because I'm worried that that other guard is going to come. I realize that he would be in my face by now if he was coming this way, and also that there's no way I'm going to pick that lock fast enough. So I come back around up here, carrying the painting, taking it over to the zip line. Now this zip line up here is handy only because it lets me raid stuff from the top of the building. Which means that it's only really going to be handy when I'm doing solo deathwish. If I'm not doing solo deathwish, I don't really care about the top floor. It's the hardest stuff to get, and it's not needed to finish the map. So normally, if you're not doing this on deathwish or you're doing it with a group, you'll take a different zip line. There's a zip line you can put out on the waterfront, and it dumps everything to a boat way off the map and instantly claims your loot. So much better. It's safer to get to. It instantly claims your loot so you don't have to go and haul it in later, which also gives you a little more room to breathe. If you make a mistake, you don't have to start hauling bags quickly. And here I just showed you that other grate in the sewer. This is where most people would spend their second thermite paste. I don't think that that's the best way to do it, and here's why. We're going up in the sewer. We're waiting to see if anybody pings on our little radar thing. Okay, there's nobody around, so we're coming up here. Instead of burning that grate, we're going to pick the lock on that door behind us because it is basically duplicative of the grate down there. We just have this little connector here, and it'll let us keep the thermite paste for the back route if the back route is blocked. I haven't seen the back route be blocked in a long time. The last time I saw it blocked was months ago when I had stopped playing the game for a while. For all I know, it's possible that that route doesn't get blocked anymore. I don't know. Right now I'm playing it safe and acting as if it will be blocked, and I'm keeping this thermite with me just in case. Because the back route in the sewers is really handy, and you're about to see why. Right now, I'm grabbing the second sewer entry. You can get this from below or from above. And right there in that little corridor, there's a crowbar that's always there on Deathwish. If I hadn't already got one, I'd pick that up. And I checked the back route and I saw that it wasn't barred off, so now I'm going to spend my thermite paste connecting the sewer. So now I have a sort of loot channel that runs the entire length of the map, and I can easily use that to get around to different places, have different points of entry and escape, and move loot without having to go past guards. So right now my goal is to dump as many things as I can down that. And you see I'm picking out a lot of different things here. I'm not going to get everything. For example, I'm going to ditch that artifact right now. I will probably come back for it later. I'm going for things that I can just quickly dump in so that I can reach my quota. Artifacts are the heaviest thing in the game. They are one of the biggest risks you can take trying to get those out in stealth. And so I'm going to save those until I've already got my 12. That way I know that once I get those, even if I get caught carrying an artifact, at that point I can just say, okay, screw it, dump it, and run. But I can only have that freedom if I go and get the rest of this loot taken care of first. So I'm trying to get things that can be easily carried. That guy with the orange jumpsuit that we just went by has a key card. That's handy if you want to raid the cages or you want to get the samurai armor. We're not going to be doing the samurai armor this time. It can be done solo, but you generally need better ECMs to do it. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I'm running this at level 39 right here just for XP. And I've already got the achievement for the samurai armor, so I don't need anything out of that. And at this point, I'm pretty happy with what I've taken out of the main warehouse. So I'm going to start raiding the backyard area by going up through the sewer. There are other ways I could get up to this backyard area, but the sewer gives me sort of the easiest in and out. And I should mention earlier when I was picking that lock on the front door, there was a drop by murky water. That's the other reason that we want to raid the top floor first. Because after a few minutes after you've entered the building, or the complex at least, there's a helicopter that comes in and it either drops one of these big shipping containers with another crate in it that will contain an artifact, or they instead bring in 4 more soldiers that they drop in, and they start at the top of the building and start working their way around to their patrols. So You want to be done with the top floor well before that drop happens. So starting with the top floor is a safe thing to do, even though it seems risky. Again, that's only on Deathwish. If you're not on Deathwish, feel free to start with whatever, because all you're doing at that point is saying, what are the easiest ways that I can get loot, and how can I chain them together? Deathwish is the only one that starts asking you to start being comprehensive and start getting loot from all parts of the warehouse. Wait for that guy to leave. Now I'm waiting for my radar to ping anybody. It looks like I'm clear. So I'm going to open up this other route.
Keep your distance.
That's sort of a decision you can make with containers. You can open both ends to have more routes through, but then you know that the guards can see through it. Just a choice you have to make. In this case, I decided it was better to be able to have that freedom of movement. So now we're going to start working our way back around to get the rest of the stuff from the middle yard, and I'm going to show you a cool way to get out. And once we've done that, then we can start gathering all our loot, hit our bare minimums, and then we can go back in for more when we want. We're sneaking around. Again, I'm cutting this closer than a normal person would. I'm doing this just because I'm sort of in a hurry when I'm making this video, and because I want to show you that you can get away with more than you think. And so for those of you who are brand new to Shadow Raid, you notice I'm only hitting the red containers. Those are the only containers that have stuff in it on Shadow Raid. When you do Meltdown, the one that's this map in the daytime, the containers are different. Don't look for red ones. It's a different mechanic entirely.
Stay invisible.
So that guy's watching me if I come around from one side, but I can easily get this from the other side and have the truck blocking for me.
Your distance.
And there's nothing in there. Almost get spotted. That's okay. And now I'm going to show you a neat way to get out that a lot of people don't know about. You can snip that, and then you have to sort of sprint and jump to get on this wall, and then crouch when you land on the ledge. It's a little tricky. I mess it up a couple times, but there we go. Right through the fence. And now all we have to do is clear out the loot. So I'm speeding up the video just to, you know, I don't need to bore you for 10 minutes of just carrying bags. But this is how it works. Shadow Raid is really super easy. It's a great way to earn a bunch of experience. It's a great way to get some sweet achievements. And it's a good way to impress your friends when they are really daunted by how it works. You've got all these little easy things that you can do, and the trick on Deathwish is just learning how to string all these little easy things together. And that'll do it. I'm going to leave you here, and you can watch the rest of this get carried off. And once I hit 12, everything after that is gravy, and I can go back in and get more. And if I get caught, that's cool. I can go and just run away, because it's pretty easy to get away with a minute left. And so feel free to take more risks. Feel free to go for artifacts, to go for samurai armor. You know, just knock yourself out. Once you've got your 12, you can basically do whatever. And so with that, I will leave you. This is Shu. Take it easy.
Look like one out. Last one. One out.